So I want to say I don't think Genos should be a main character. I actually think he's better as a side character to actually give a little B story. It helps develop on its own little bit thing, but I don't think Genos would be a good character for the whole One Punch Man thing. Sure, it'd be interesting, but then it'd be like every other shonen, and that's the thing that makes One Punch Man so interesting is that it doesn't follow the same formulas. Like this guy is legitimately one punching everybody. And then you have with Genos, then you're basically getting something like Fairy Tail. You're basically getting something like One Piece or Naruto, Bleach. A guy that struggles, fights, stuff like that, and he has some goal. And just like, I kind of like how Saitama is a character that doesn't really have much of a goal. He just wants to fight for the sake of fighting, and it's a good dynamic. It's different. If you have Genos as the main character, then it's the same as any other shonen, and it wouldn't be as popular. So if you look at shows like Tokyo Ghoul, Kaneki doesn't have a goal. He just ended up getting turned into a ghoul, and then boom, that was it. And he's going with that. And then you see his ever interactions with the other characters. And it's just like that's what makes it interesting. I really don't think One Punch Man is the type of series that's really worrying about being set goals, but it's just all about their interactions with the other characters. Like if you notice in One Punch Man, a lot of focus goes into the side characters and their stories and what they're doing, and it makes it interesting. It's a different dynamic from some of the other mangas or other series that are out, where it's not just the main character, but it's the entire story of all the people around. Um, Another series that does a good example of this would be Higurashi. Higurashi does it so well, like you know more about the other characters and develops so well, and it's good and it's interesting. I think that's a good dynamic for some series to have instead of focusing on one character and their one goal. And that's what I like about One Punch Man. I think it's an interesting dynamic because if you see from most shonen, a lot of characters don't get developed, and Bleach is a perfect example of this. Or Hime doesn't get developed as much, and she's been there since the beginning. Chad doesn't get developed as much. Ichigo's sisters don't get developed as much, and it's like there's more you want to see from these people, and not things you have to watch a filler arc for. It's just like you want to see these guys develop more in character. And One Punch Man does that because it develops almost all of his characters to a good extent. That you know more about them, you feel more sympathetic for them, and they're not just there, just standing around while the main character is the only one getting all this time and doing all these things. Sure, Bleach does put a little bit of focus onto the captains and things that they do, but you really don't know too much about them, or like it took way too long. But from One Punch Man, it's just like they're developing with us. They're developing with Saitama. You see what they're doing. You see their battles, what they go through, their backstories, and they're not just tossed in for the sake of plot or some plot device. Yeah, a plot device so you don't feel bad for them. It's just like these guys are developing there. I think that's what's so interesting about One Punch Man is that it's not just Saitama. It's not just One Punch Man, but it's the One Punch Man universe. And that's why I don't really mind One Punch Man having no real main character. Like, of course, the main character is Saitama, but like, it doesn't focus just on Saitama, and that's a good dynamic for One Punch Man. And I don't think it would be interesting if you did apply a main character and just had one person be the main focus of the entire series. It just wouldn't be as interesting. It would be like any other shonen. It would be like Fairy Tail. It would be like the Natsu no Taizai. It would be like Bleach. It would be like Naruto. It would be like anything else that comes from shonen because that's just a typical formula that seems to follow. Well, One Piece doesn't really follow that formula all the way because everybody gets development and it's actually pretty nice and pretty good. Like you know about Nami, Usopp, and Zoro, but you know what I mean. It's just like it shouldn't focus on one character. Every character should be developed the same way, and One Punch Man does that right. And it's a good formula, and it's working because it's interesting. Because you're not just watching it to see, oh man, what's gonna happen with Saitama? What's Saitama gonna do? When you just see like, oh my god, like Saitama and Genos and like Metal Bat, it's just it makes it way more interesting. It's an interesting series, and it's just better that way. So yeah, it's Weibo opinions, and this is my response to Tekking101's is Genos, the real main character in One Punch Man.